All right, this is 5.3, the application, and this is going to finish the section. So now that we have all of the operations that we can do with fractions, adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing, we're now going to put them to problems that actually have some value to it or some application that we might come across in the real world. So this problem in my math lab is going to be set up like this, where they're going to ask you first to choose the correct equation that you're going to do, and then it's going to ask you to solve it, okay? So David has finished his first year of high school. His height was 71 and 5/16 inches. And when he returned to school after the summer, his height was now 73 and 3/16 inches. So we want to know, how much did his height increase? So we have to take the difference between those two fractions. So we are going to look at the ending height, because we always want to take the larger number and then subtract the smaller number. So the first one is not going to be applicable because we have the wrong order, okay? B is a division problem, and we're not doing any dividing. C is a multiplication. D is an addition. And then E is actually the correct setup. We take 73 and 3/16, and we're going to subtract 71 and 5/16. The problem with this is that we cannot take 5/16 away from 3/16. So we have to borrow, just like when we have regular addition problems where we can't take a number away from a smaller number, we have to borrow. And so when we do this, we are going to borrow 1 from 73, and that's going to make it 2. But we have to add 1 to the 3/16, and it has to be in fraction form. So we are going to add 1 to this fraction, but it has to be in this format, because we can't add 1 to 3/16. We have to add 1 as 16/16, so that we now have 19/16, which then we can take away 5 from. So we're going to take 72 minus 71, and that says 1. And we're going to take 19/16 and subtract 5/16, and that makes 14/16. And then we want to make sure we simplify it. So we would divide both top and bottom by 2. And so David grew 1 and 7/8 inches over the summer, okay? Now the next one, we're going to be looking at a stairway that consists 18 stairs, and each of those stairs has a height of 8 3/8 inches. So if I just kind of draw some stairs here just to get a visual, and it's going to go on and on. The height of each of these stairs is 8 3/8 inches. And so we want to know, what is the total vertical height of that stairway? Well, of course, we could add 8 3/8 18 times, but an easier way to do that is to multiply. And so one of the rules that you have to remember when you multiply mixed numbers together, you have to change them to improper. So make a note of that. Must change let's mix numbers. Must change mixed numbers to improper before you multiply or divide, okay? So I'm going to change 18 to a fraction just by putting a 1 over it. And then I'm going to take 8 times 8, which is 64, and add 3, which is 65/8. And so now I'm going to multiply. I'm going to try and look for things that I can simplify. And so 2 goes into 8 and leaves 4. 2 goes into 18 and leaves 9. And now I have 9 times 64. Whoops, I didn't write that right. 64 plus 3, that should be 67. Sorry about that. Let's do this. Made a mistake. 67. All right, so then we get still 9 and 4. And so now we are going to multiply across. 9 times 67 is 603. And 1 times 4 is 4. Now, usually the rule of thumb is if you started with a mixed number, then you want to end with a mixed number. So we're going to go ahead and convert that 603 back into a mixed number. So 4 goes into 6 one time. That leaves 20. 4 goes into 25 times. And then we bring down the 3, and 4 goes into 3 0 times. So that gives me 150 and 3/4. Okay. Now, the next one is going to be a combination of some applications. We've got a total amount of pipe that he needs, and then we've got some pipe that he already has. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out how much PVC pipe he has, and then I'm going to have to subtract it from what he needs. So I like to write my problems like this. He has 2 1/4 inch pipe. He has 3 5/8 inches. And then he's got 5 1/4 inches. So I'm going to change all of these fractions so that they have a denominator of 8. So that's going to be 2/8. That one's already in 8s. And then this one is also going to be 2/8. Okay, so then I can add them up. 2 plus 3 plus 5 makes 10. And 2/8 plus 5/8 plus 2/8 makes 9/8. Now what's wrong with that is that 9/8 is a top-heavy fraction. So now I have to convert 9/8 by taking 8 and dividing it into 9. And that is 1 1/8. So now I've got 10 inches plus 1 1/8 inch, which makes 11 1/8 inches of pipe. That's how much he has, okay? But what he needs is 22 11/16. So now we have to subtract 22 11/16, take away 11 1/8. So again, you're going to need a common denominator of the fractions. So 2/16. So now I can take 2/16 away from 11/16, and that gives me 9/16. And then I can take 22 and subtract 11, and that gives me 11. So what he needs to complete his total sprinkler system is 11 9/16 inches. Okay? All right. The next one, okay? We've got this department chair in college, and he's got this budget where he has 1/5 of his money is for photocopying, 3/7 of his money is for computer-related expenses, and the rest of the money is for student tutors. So we need to know how much he has already used of his budget, and then we need to subtract out his total budget. So if you just think of like, if you have eaten the whole pie, you have 100%, okay? So that's going to be represented when I do the subtraction to see how much he has left, okay? So we're going to take 1/5, that's for photocopying, and 3/7 and add that together to see how much of the budget he's already spent. So we have to get a common denominator, which is going to be 35. So I multiply that one by 7/7. and this one by 5/5. So 7/35 plus 15/35 says that he has already spent 22/35 of his budget, okay? So he has the entire budget to take that amount away from. So we will have the whole budget, which is represented by 1, and we're going to subtract out what he has already spent his money on. So now I have to convert that fraction of 1 into a fraction with a denominator of 35. So what I have to do is multiply this by 35/35. So 35/35, that's 1. Take away 22/35, and that says he has 13/35 left of his budget, okay? So the key is that when you have already have spent an amount of your budget, remember your entire budget always equals 1. And so you're going to have to subtract that out of 1 when you find the remainder. Now, the last one, you want to total up the height of this stand. So you've got all these pieces. So the first thing is you're going to write the expression. And when you're looking for total height, hopefully you know that you will be adding all of those pieces together. So A is going to be the correct setup. And I, again, like to write my problem vertically so that I can change these into common denominators. And it looks like the common denominator for this problem is going to be 30 seconds, okay? So we are going to multiply 2 by 16 to give me 16 30-seconds. We're going to multiply this fraction by 8/8 to give me 8 30-seconds. And this one is already in 30 seconds. So now I add 16 plus 8, which makes that 24, and 24 plus 1, which makes that 25 30-seconds. And then I say 2 plus 9 is 11, plus 3 is 14. Carry the 1. 2, 4, 5. So the total height of that bookshelf is 54 inches and 25 30-seconds. So hopefully that helps finish off the application section for 5.3.